Hey everybody, Robb here for Southwest Florida Television. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, February 20th. It's about 9:20 a.m. I'm up in North Naples, Florida at Delnor-Wiggins Pass State Park. One of my favorite places here in Naples. And I ran into somebody that I never expected to see out here on the beach. Look who's over here. It's our friend KowiaJon.
Hi, how are you?
Kowiachobee.
Yeah.
How are you doing? It was awesome to see you out here.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to come out here more often. You know, obviously, I get tied up with what I do. But, I've actually made it out here a few times over the past couple of months. I ran into a couple of the viewers here, came out on the beach. It was actually kind of caught me off guard because it was like, hey, you're that KowiaJon that guy, and so it kind of caught me off guard. You kind of have a look
about you that's...
Yeah, but they recognized me right away. So, so again, I thank you for sharing the audience with us.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
And I thank your audience for their support. The fundraiser that you guys threw yesterday was incredible. It was good.
Well,
it was
we're going to do
success.
it again. I mean, I think you're going to see some donations coming in online. A lot of people are talking about doing some online.
And you know what? It was a morale booster too because it really I want to say put a little bit of life into my staff, because sometimes, when you deal with the day-to-day
I know what you're saying.
Work and the anxiety of, how to keep things going, sometimes it can get frustrating. And, for the volunteers that are very close and put in the most amount of hours and more, you start to get frustrated after a while and you wonder if things are going to go well, if things are going to work. And for me, as a person that is in charge of everything, it makes me feel bad sometimes too, because I really want people to enjoy what they're doing there. And I don't, I have to deal with the anxiety. I have to deal with the stress of it all, and I don't want everybody else to have to deal with that. But it happens, and it comes from passion. The passion for what it is. So something like yesterday, it was very successful. It went very well. But more importantly, it gave everybody a little bit more hope, and so the morale has been really boosted. So they're already talking about let's do it again and again. Yeah. We should do this every month. So there's a lot of positives that came out from it. Just from yesterday, I think a lot of things are just going to go a lot better just because of the morale.
I know personally at least 20 people. Messaged me yesterday apologizing that they couldn't make it, but a couple of them were sick. We got a little older crowd here. It's like, they're my friends, and they so much want to support you. They want to. I've got a couple that they'd be out there every day if they could. But it was awesome. I mean, it was a great
but
day.
we don't stress over that. I mean, Florida is all about being laid back, especially Naples. We're here to relax. We're here to kind of go with the flow. That's why I choose to live here. That's why everybody chooses to live here. We don't have the hustle and bustle that other areas do in Florida. Naples is. I was told it's as close to paradise as you can actually get, I think, without leaving this planet, because realistically, you got quiet places like this state park. We have state parks all around us. You got Corkscrew Swamp, the Bird Rookery. There's places down on Marco. And a beautiful beach. I mean, there's not very many beaches that are this beautiful anywhere in the world.
No, it's just incredible.
I spent a little time in Tampa. I spent a little time. I've been up to Fort Myers Beach. Look, this is. I'm with you on this. This is my favorite beach here.
Delnor-Wiggins is by far the best.
It's away from the condos. It's not polluted with all the other stuff that's going on. It's just, a beautiful beach, a beautiful view. I mean, the water, when it's calm and clear, you see right through it like glass. It's a
little cloudy now just because it's been windy and rough.
Yeah, a little bit. But you get that a lot in the wintertime,
But it is gorgeous.
But in the summertime, sometimes you come out here and it's like glass, and you're just, you can actually see the dolphins swimming by
I just
50
saw
yards
one
out.
just went by just before I ran into you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I call this my little piece of heaven on earth here.
Yeah.
That and Kowiachobee.
Well, yeah, and the Kowiachobee has that same effect on people. And I get people that come out there and they stop. You don't really feel like you're in town anymore. You feel like you're somewhere else, and that's when you have places like that. That becomes a little bit magical.
I mean, I come out there and I'll just stare at the cats. And it's just like I just get swept away. It's just like
we talked about that yesterday with the guests there. The difference in behavior from like other places because. Realistically, the cats that we have, many of them were raised in the house and had a lot of hands-on contact from the get-go, so they're very domesticated. But what also makes them very interactive, I know a lot of people go to the zoo and like the animals are hiding or they think they're stressed or angry or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of that would depend on the mood they were in when you caught them. But mine are very, very interactive, and they're that way because they get a lot of attention. They get, the people pay attention to them. And really, realistically, just like anything, they're just looking for love. They're looking for attention. So when you're out there, you can just stare at them, and they're just going to stare right back at you.
It's just amazing.
Because, they like the attention. But, everybody does. All life does, so...
Hey, you're getting something new. You were telling me you're getting something new.
Yeah. So they like meeting new people, but what they really love is the return people. A lot of people don't realize how good a cat's memory actually is. I think you're realizing that the more you come out there. Every time you come out there, they start to recognize you and respond to you like an old friend versus just somebody that's visiting.
Right.
So as the more time you spend there, the more times you visit, the more they recognize you, and then they start to look forward to your visit. So they start to respond to you differently than the first time that you came out there.
There is nothing like volunteering out there. I mean, if you love animals.
And then like Bex. Becca, she goes out there and she'll just lay there and talk to them, and
so cute,
some people go out there and they'll play music on their iPhones, and stuff, but yeah, it's relaxing.
You're getting something new out there. You're getting 2 new additions.
Yeah. Today, this afternoon. I am here. I wanted to visit. I love the beach. I brought you some tomatoes and onions
Those
and
are
stuff.
awesome, man.
Yeah, leftovers from yesterday, and I have people started working on. We're securing some temporary enclosure for a pair of lemurs, ring-tailed lemurs that we're taking in. So I'm going to be moving them to the preserve this afternoon. I do need extra help, so if there's any able-bodied, strong people that want to kind of give us a call and try to help us over the next week and next weekend especially, we're going to... They are coming with their home, so what we have to do is put them in this afternoon into a temporary home, which is actually a geodesic dome, so they'll have room, but we want to give them their home, so we have to take everything down, and then we have to move it over to the preserve and then re-erect it or put it back up, so they'll have what they're familiar with. So
that's nice.
So they'll. It takes a little bit out of the adjustment, so at least their actual home will be familiar to them. And that's what we worry a lot about.
How did you wind up? I mean, if you can talk about it.
There was a couple in the estates. So we're out in Golden Gate Estates. There was a couple out there that had the lemurs. They've had exotic animals over the years with special license. However, they're elderly, and the man passed away recently. So now you have a wife that's kind of, I wouldn't say stuck with, but she has, she's left with the husband's passion, which was the animals. And she was holding on to him, to be honest, but she is elderly, and the bigger thing is her homeowner's insurance had threatened to cancel it, so it's one of those stressful situations where she has to part with them, and so it's not as much about whether she wants to or not. It's a situation where she has to. So You know, and of course, anybody that's elderly can relate to the idea that you start, you know, you end up having a fixed income, you know, and you start worrying about things, and it doesn't get any cheaper to
birds
live
are a
either.
big one. The parrots, boy, people don't realize they usually outlive their owners.
And so I don't always like to just use the term rescue. So I mean, so we just say we're going to rehome them. We're going to give them a home. They're not coming from a bad home or abusive situation. They're just coming from a place where they just unfortunately can't stay anymore. And you know, the person, it's not even that she's not able to, but it's just becoming a difficult thing in her life. So so we're going to rehome them. We're going to take them in, and you know, she's also going to be able to visit them. You know, it's one thing that I tell people when I take in animals that they can't keep up with anymore. We keep them at the preserve, but I want them to feel like they're still theirs. You know, so she'll be over to visit them. You know, so we're not going to separate people from their animals either.
Will they be a part of the tours, or will you give them a little time?
They will. We'll give them time to acclimate first. You know, so we might spot them out, but we're not going to actually do things. And as far as, you know, we always have to evaluate too. You know, one of the things that we're always going to be worried about is stress levels. You know, so we've already started talking about, you know, some of the volunteers like, well, can we take it out on location? Can we take it to a school? So we'll have to make that decision on down the road. You know, because I'm not going to take an animal to a school if it's going to be stressed out and unhappy. So, you know, the animal's welfare is always going to be the biggest part of everything. You know, I mean, as far as the volunteers interacting with them, we'll see how that goes. You know, we let the animals evaluate the people too. So it's like, if you go in there and you get along with them and you can make friends with them and there's a good relationship built, we'll let that happen. But if you're going to go in there, upset them, and they're not going to be around you, we're not going to force that on them either. You know,
I can't wait to see it. Maybe I'll get up when I get out there. I'll be able to share them with everybody. Maybe I'll get a premiere, a sneak
you know,
premiere.
and you know, with Mike, God bless Mike Arnold for doing the Wi-Fi.
Isn't
and
that awesome?
We'll be able to share a lot more of the preserve with people to go.
He already told me he's going to help us out with some more units. He's so cool.
But we're getting there. I mean, we get around there. We just have, you know, and you know, we're probably going to look into doing some hardwire systeming too, because we have to counter a lot of the chain link that we have, because we have chain link everywhere. You know,
might wind up having to get another whole system.
Unfortunately, the law requires that we keep them in cages. So, you know.
Couldn't we do it the other way around? Put the people in the cages?
Yeah, I mean, you know, wouldn't it be nice if we could just like fence in the property and just let them roam around?
Wouldn't that be something?
You know the guy, the original Tarzan guy?
Oh, yeah, I met him when I was a kid. Johnny
he lived here in Florida. And you know what he did is he actually just fenced in his house, his whole property, and the tigers that he had would just like walk in and out of his house at will. You know?
We used to have a place in Miami. It was called the Monkey Jungle. And the people would walk in like a cage, and the monkeys were just out running wild all around them. So what about the preserve? Let's what do we need? What do we need at Kowiachobee?
We need everything. So when I had the people out there yesterday, as I took them around to certain areas, I basically explained some of our needs. One of them is the place where we have our Florida Panther. He's in a completely remodeled enclosure, but it's the only one that's really been remodeled there. I have room for probably about another 5 or 6 cats, and at this point, I'm shying away from getting babies and raising them, just because of the length of their life and.
It's a long-term commitment.
Yeah, long-term commitments. I'm not sure.
And we're not getting
not
any
to say
younger.
we'll never do that. It's just I don't want to invest myself in that. Now, if things change with the preserve and there's somebody else that can take that on, we'll reevaluate that at that time. But right now, my desire is just to rescue cats that need homes. So there might be some leopards out there, or jaguars, or pumas out there that might need a home. And actually this past year we lost one of our first leopards. His name was Cerullium. And Cerullium was actually donated to the preserve by a lady named Phyllis Muller, who lives here on the beach, the Continental Club. And she's been with us from the start. And so Cerullium was actually named after her. So it was Sir, like the royalty, the Muller family, which is the Noodle family. So Muller spelled backwards is Relium. So it was kind of an oddball way to basically identify her
Right.
without, because like a lot of people that do have some sort of a name of recognition don't always like to have it out
Right,
there.
exactly.
So we did that. So Sorelium passed away this last year, 21 years of age,
Wow.
which is about the life expectancy of a cat. So what we're trying to do is start a fund now, which basically a rescue fund. We'll call it the Sorelium Fund, and this fund will be basically specifically meant to remodel the enclosures that we have, starting with his, and provide home for cats that need a home.
What kind of money are we talking about?
Well, I have about 6 enclosures that I can remodel, and because the price of wood is so much higher, we're looking at about 20 grand per enclosure. And that's because not just the expense of replacing the bad wood, but we also want to make it a suitable home. We could do it for less, but the problem with doing it for less is you don't always finish, so we want to make sure that we can finish it, make it as good as possible from the get-go. Obviously, because we're in a state that has hurricanes, you're going to want to make sure everything's reinforced very well. But most of these enclosures, like the first one we'll do, was actually built in 2001.
Wow.
So it's still in good shape, but there's a lot of remodel that works to do. I mean, the other ones were built in 2005 when we actually rescued 7 cats from another facility that was closed down. That was probably one of the biggest jobs I ever undertook because there was like 7 cats that I had to take and move from a facility. I had to build enclosures to put some in. I had to completely dismantle all the enclosures that were there at the site we were bringing them from, and then rebuild them at our property. And I had 40 days to do it.
Wow.
So it was basically, at the time, we had a lot of help from the Sheriff's Department under Don Hunter back in 2005.
Yep, good old Don.
And they had a weekend work program, so we literally had like buses of weekend probation people. And we had 2 sites. We were tearing down things at one site, bringing it to preserve and re-erecting it. Shy Wolf Sanctuary was actually very, very instrumental in that too. They helped out a lot in making that happen. But those enclosures, 15 years, more than 15 years now. It's time. You got to remodel them. Nothing lasts forever.
So always money. Yeah. Money is always number one on the list. Money and volunteers.
Yeah. But on the good side, you're looking at enclosures that survived. How many?
Exactly.
2000. How many hurricanes? I mean, even the worst ones like Wilma, Harvey, Irma just recently. They survived them all. So they are very well built. So anybody that questions about what do you do during a hurricane, we do build with the hurricane in mind. So it's not like we put it up and then we freak out when a hurricane comes. No, we're actually very comfortable, and we are always double checking when things go on. And if you're maybe we'll do a live feed one time during a hurricane. If we
there you go.
In the future, we'll show people how much nothing moves.
That would be something.
It is a very
even just a video.
Well. Really. Yeah, we'll do a video, but we usually are out during hurricanes to spot check the animals, make sure they're nice, because not everything can come in. We do take a lot of the small animals inside, but a lot of the larger ones do stay out and weather the storm. So.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. So it's awesome seeing you out here.
Well, it's awesome to be here. Like I said, I would come here a lot more often if I didn't have the responsibilities
You're kind of married
out there.
to Kowiachobee.
Yeah. But no, I plan on being up here much more, because I also find that over the years a lot of stress is relieved from it. I never took the time for myself to actually go out there, and part of it became very depressing. So over the past few years, I've really been working on my own mental health. Well, I went through a bout of depression. I mean, I got very, very fat, and just recently, over the past year, I lost 50 pounds. But that's part of it. I've learned to start doing things that can help me, clear my mind and, get my mind straight. Mental health is very important, so that's part of my message. This is a great place to come for some therapy. Yeah. Here, sometimes you got to get away from it. You do. As much as I love what I do and I have a passion for it, it is a big burden, a very big responsibility, and sometimes you do have to get away from it, even what you love, every once in a while, and you got to make time for yourself. And this is such a peaceful place. You know, even when there's a lot of people, it's so peaceful, it's so beautiful. You know, both the beachfront, but even back here where we barbecue and do the beach walk. We come here every year anyway, because we've been active with Wiggins Pass for years. Whenever they have, they used to call it March for Parks, but they actually have every year a day where they have all the local wildlife experts and places here. And you and I, you know, we've done feeds before during that. And I always encourage people to go that, because to me that is probably the best function like that in all of Southwest Florida. I mean, it literally is the biggest collection of experts on everything conservation that you'll ever find in one place, is when Wiggins Pass does that event. And they make it really good for the kids. They got their sticker books, they answer questions, they do little challenges.
It is a great event.
It is just an incredibly educational day, so look for it every time, whatever they call it, but they always promote it, they always put it out there on the calendar. But if you can get up here for that day, if you have any questions about conservation or wildlife or anything, that's the time to come up here. You know, so
all right.
Awesome.
We got to wrap it up.
Awesome.
Our 10-minute video turned into 21 minutes.
I'm sorry. You know, you keep telling me, he's like, John, keep it under 10 minutes.
That's all right. It's always awesome to talk to you, my friend.
But, you know, it's passion.
It is passion.
It's what I love, you know, so.
Amen.
Don't get me started.
I know. Getting you started is very easy. Stopping you is the hard part. You see, they got they're dredging up there at the pass.
Yeah, you got to do it every once in a while. But, you know, hey, even the beach needs to be maintained, you know.
All right, brother. Thank you. I'll see you later.
Thank you for what you do, and thank your audience for their support.
They love you guys out there. Delnor-Wiggins Pass State Park. That was KowiaJon. That was awesome. Some of our beach friends. To get the ospreys up there, yep. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. If you're liking what you're seeing, tell your friends about Southwest Florida Television and Kowiachobee Animal Preserve. Tally-ho for Southwest Florida Television. I'm Robb Stan. God bless.